Managing someone who is outspoken and opinionated is a challenge for any leader. This can be particularly hard if you haven't received any specific training on how to manage a team of people. Today, we're going to talk about why you should value troublemakers in your organization. Back a few years ago, when my kids were poor sleepers, my parents used to laugh and tell me that it was karma. It seems that when I was a young child, I too was very, very determined to stay up all night. And my parents would tell me stories about how they would sit at the top of the steps for 3 hours when I was under 2 years old, because I would continue to get up and get out of my bed and was insistent upon doing what I wanted to do at night. And so it would take my parents 3 hours of putting me back in my room until I would fall back asleep. Now, as I got older, this determination to do what I want in life grew into someone in a workplace who would stand up and say what needed to be said when there were things happening within the organization that were problematic. I would raise red flags that people did not necessarily want to see. And I always had this sense that I was perceived as a bit of a troublemaker. And face it, managing these types of opinionated personalities, it's really challenging. If you found yourself into a leadership role almost by accident, and you've realized that managing a team of diverse personalities, including that really opinionated personality, is trickier than you thought, what happens often is that people will tend to try to rein in these opinionated personalities because they're hard to manage. And certainly, by all means, I needed to learn when to step back and when to push. And that is a skill that absolutely needs to be mastered for the person who is opinionated. From a leadership perspective, though, what I'd like to suggest is that instead of shutting down these personalities, working with them to find ways that they can share their opinions in ways that is socially acceptable and in ways that they feel heard is actually of huge benefit to the organization. When you have someone working with you who is willing to step up and stand up and say the things that nobody else is willing to say, those are the people who are going to raise the red flags around quality control issues that may only come to your radar way down the line when it's costing you a fortune. These are the people that are going to speak up when there's unethical behaviors going on in your organization. These are the people who are going to dare to disagree with you when they think that you're taking a wrong turn in your decisions within the organization. And in the end, those conversations, when had right, are going to save your organization a ton of money and time. Now, what you can do as a leader is give the person space to be heard. Now, where the dance gets difficult is that people like myself who tend to be opinionated sometimes have a hard time hearing no. So as a leader, the best way to manage these personalities is to give them some space to be heard. Tell them that you have heard and acknowledge that their perspective is valued, and then you can tell them the decision that's being made. And you certainly need to be able to be firm with these type of personalities, just like my parents had to put me back into my bedroom for 3 hours when the organization or you as a leader has made a decision that does not go in the direction that opinionated troublemaker may wish for. It's important to stay firm on the decisions. But up until that point, I think one of the biggest keys is making sure that that person feels heard, because that's going to help them accept whatever decision that you're making as a leader moving forward.